Hey everybody, Dan Rubino here with Windows Central, and today Microsoft's announcing the Surface Book 2. We're going to give you a first look at the 13 and 15-inch version coming out in mid-November. Stay tuned. All right, let's start off with the 15-inch Surface Book 2. So there's a lot of subtle changes here. You do have a slightly thinner bezel. You do get a 3:2 aspect ratio. You also get that same 3000 by 2000 resolution, around 7 million pixels. The display now is thinner and the whole chassis itself is thinner. Of course, what makes this device really interesting is the fact it is running a Core i7 8th generation Intel processor that is quad core. Now the 15-inch does have a fan in the top. That's so it can run at the full 20 watts full time with no throttling. You won't really hear the fan though, it's super quiet. Going down to the base, of course, it is a bigger base. Not much has changed though. This is the same keyboard that's found now in the Surface laptop. Of course, it's metal, but the travel is 1.55 millimeter, and you get a very quiet typing experience. Turning to the inside though is where the real magic happens. This is sporting an NVIDIA GTX 1060 GPU with 6 gigabytes of video memory. That is super impressive to have in such a device. Turning to the side, you get 2 full USB 3.1 ports along with an SD card reader. So for photographers and video people will still use that, it is there. And of course you get the Microsoft Connect charger, which hasn't changed at all. And look at that, USB Type-C. A lot of people are gonna be very happy. However, there is, as always, a caveat. It is USB Type-C 3.1. It also does not support Thunderbolt 3, which is a bit of a shame. One of the impressive features they've done with this device, of course, you can open it one-handed. That was something that the original Surface Book always had trouble with. So they've done some re-engineering here with the hinge to make that happen. It basically looks the same, but there are a lot of subtle differences on this machine. Of course, the keyboard also now matches the current Surface laptop and Surface Pro, where they put the brightness display options on the keyboard itself. Of course, being a 15-inch, you can still detach the display itself, which is pretty impressive. The actual display is about 1.8 pounds, so it's not too heavy at all. Microsoft tells me you should get around 5 hours of battery life. Of course, as usual, that may vary depending on usage, but the important number there is that's about 2 hours more than the original Surface Book, so there should be more power in this device, which is really impressive. It's a very light top, that's for sure, and a lot of people should be able to use this for drawing and inking on the go. All right, so pricing and availability, you can get this November 16th. Pricing is $24.99. This device only comes in the Core i7 version with GPU. You can go up to 16 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of internal storage, and it tops out around $3,000. All right, here it is, the 13-inch Surface Book 2. If it looks like the original Surface Book 1, you're totally correct. They haven't changed a lot of the exterior. However, it has been rebuilt from the inside out, so there is a lot of new stuff going on here. The display is much improved. You get a higher contrast ratio. You do get an improved camera both on the front and the rear. Just like the 15-inch, you're going to get a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, 8 megapixel rear-facing camera, Windows Hello built in as well, single IR lens as usual. The buttons are all in the same place. You still have your headphone jack on top, and vents along the way. Now this device has different specs than the bigger 15-inch, at least there are different options. So you can get this actually in a Core i5, but the caveat here, it is a dual-core 7th generation Core i5, but that's a completely fanless system. Zero fan in the whole device itself. You can also get it without a discrete GPU. If you want to save a little extra cash there and just get the Surface Book experience. Pricing will be at $14.99 for that one. Now, the GPU in this is also a little bit different. It is a NVIDIA GTX 1050. You can, of course, get it with a Core i7, and that's the 8th generation quad-core version, so definitely a little bit more powerful device. You still can get very good battery life. Again, Microsoft is estimating up to 17 hours. That will vary. Don't forget, if you're using the discrete GPU on these things with the NVIDIA 1050 or 1060 in the 15-inch, you can really drain that battery very quickly if you're using all 75 watts of power in that 15-inch. So you may only get 2 or 3 hours of gaming. So definitely keep that in mind. It's going to vary a lot. The keyboard though has improved as well. Again, borrowing stuff from the Surface laptop from what they learned. You still get a precision trackpad, which is really nice. Coming out to the side, you still get the two 3.1 USB ports along with a full SD card reader. And just like the 15-inch, you're going to have your Surface Connect port on the side along with a USB Type-C 3.1. Again, no Thunderbolt 3 support as well. Pricing and availability for the Surface Book 2 13-inch will be also November 16th. Pricing is $14.99, goes up from there. You can get it with a Core i5, 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. It'll go up to that Core i7, so pricing will go up accordingly. And don't forget, stay tuned to Windows Central for more news, and we will be reviewing both of these devices in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Why are you laughing? So many points for that in comments. You're like, oh, did you see Donna back there? It's gonna be awesome. People are such
like,
nerds.
No, he did not.
We totally ruined your video for both sides.
I know.
And you're just like, damn, this is Easter egg.
I know, I saw the crowd. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna freak out. Sweat come down.